Listen, you didn't click on this video by accident. You clicked on it because you're tired of being the leader that everyone likes but doesn't actually respect. Let's call it like it is. If your instructions keep getting softened, delayed, or flat out ignored, it's because your consistency is unstable. And here's the truth. The most respected leaders aren't nicer, smarter, or even more qualified. They're ruthless about one internal rule that most people never learn. Break that rule, you look uncertain. Follow it, and your authority gets an immediate upgrade. So here's the part that nobody warns you about when you get promoted. People don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you signal. You can say, hey, can we get this done by Friday? But if your face says, I hope this is okay, your tone's going to say, only if you have time. And your follow through says, actually, it's fine if it drifts till next Wednesday. Then the message becomes a buffet line. People pick whatever version feels easiest. That's where the whole everyone likes you but nobody respects you thing starts. Not because you're weak, not because you're inexperienced, not even because your team is out to get you. It's because your presence and your expectations aren't aligned. The words are there. The clarity is, kinda. But the boundaries, the tone, the consistency, they're a little bit wobbly. And your team feels that wobble before you even notice. And here's the weird part. Nobody's going to tell you this. Nobody's going to say, hey boss, you're giving mixed signals. They just adjust. They default to comfort. They soften your deadlines. They negotiate your decisions without actually talking to you. And it all happens quietly. That's how managers end up getting confused. I'm being clear. What's the problem? But clarity without consistency is just noise. People respect what they can trust. And they don't trust leaders who move the goalposts depending on their mood, their stress level, or the path of least resistance. Let's raise the stakes because this is bigger than a missed deadline. When you're consistently unstable, people don't see flexible. They see uncertain. And uncertainty is the fastest way to lose respect in a leadership role. Because here's what happens behind the scenes. Your team starts guessing instead of asking. They start doing what they think you meant instead of what you said. They start gaming the system, not because they're manipulative, but because unclear leadership forces people to design their own rules. And once your team starts building their own version of your expectation, your authority slips slowly, quietly, almost politely. That's why you feel like people listen during the meetings, but then do something slightly different afterward. It's not defiance. It's uncertainty. They don't know which version of you they're going to get. The firm version or the, nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. People respect leaders who show up the same way on Monday as they do on Thursday. And the stressful week when everything is on fire. Not perfect, not robotic, just consistent enough that their team doesn't have to guess. Respect is built on certainty. Certainty is built on clarity. And clarity is built on boundaries. And boundaries, those come from one internal rule that great leaders live by. The rule we're about to talk about in just a second. Because if all of this is hitting a little too close to home, and you want real support actually building these habits, the Better Boss Club is now officially open. You can join today. You can become a founding member, which honestly is the best time to jump in because you get to help shape the direction of this community. Inside, we talk about everything you're learning here, and we're helping you turn it into real-world leadership skills so that you can use them immediately with your team. If you're ready to stop feeling liked but ignored, this club is where you fix that. Okay, let's get back into it. Here's the rule. Respected leaders follow relentlessly. Say it once, but mean it fully. Not in a harsh way, not in a power trip way, but in a my words reflect my intentions and my follow through backs it up kind of way. Most managers get caught in the trap of saying it and then softening it and then rewriting it later. You know exactly what I mean. You set a deadline, then you pad it. You address an issue, then you apologize for bringing it up. You give a clear direction, but then you add, but only if you can. That's the moment respect slips. Respected leaders do it differently. They say it once, clean, simple, and steady. And then they let the silence hold. No backpedaling, no sugarcoat, no nervous rambling, no last minute edits. Your team will feel the difference instantly because what you're signaling is this is the expectation and I'm comfortable with it. Presence, not pressure, not dominance, just presence. That's how respect builds fast, through alignment between your tone, your boundary, and your follow through. Let me give you something simple and real. Something you can literally use tomorrow. Imagine someone on your team comes to you and they say, hey, I know the report is due Friday. Any chance I can push it to Monday? The softening manager goes, well, is everything okay? I mean, if you really need to, I guess Monday's fine. And boom, the consistency crumbles. Here's how a respected leader handles it. They pause, they breathe, and with one steady tone, they say, I hear you, but the Friday deadline still stands. What support do you need to hit it? Notice what happened there? No drama, no power flex, no guilt trip, just clarity, consistency, and presence, and boundaries. That one moment tells your team, my expectations don't shift based on pressure, but I'm here to help you hit them. That's leadership people respect. Not because you said something magical, but because you didn't wobble. Now, of course, and this is what we would discuss in the Better Boss Club, sometimes situations arise, but we're going to handle those differently, and we'll discuss that in the club. But back to, what we're saying. Once we start saying things once and meaning them fully, there's another layer that kicks in. And this is where most managers quietly kind of fall apart. It's the follow-through muscle. And no, it's not about being strict. It's not about being the tough boss. It's about being predictable. Predictability is the real currency of respected leadership. Because here's what your team watches more than anything else. Do your actions match your expectations? Do your boundaries hold when things get inconvenient? Do you show up the same way when you're stressed as you do when you're calm? If the answer is sometimes, then your team is going to adjust accordingly. And the moment people start adjusting around you, that's when authority takes its biggest hit. They stop checking in because they already know you'll bend. They start running their own deadlines based on the extended version. They've learned it. They've learned to expect it. They treat your feedback like a suggestion instead of a standard. This is why respected leaders feel so different. Not because they're perfect by any stretch, but because they're consistent. They're consistent enough that nobody has to play detective to understand what's expected. The mindset shift that a lot of new managers miss is this. Your team isn't looking for permission. They're looking for clarity. Clarity removes friction. Friction removes respect. And when respect is gone, it doesn't matter how friendly or helpful or knowledgeable you are. Your leadership has no leverage. So let's build the part most managers skip. When you set an expectation, don't backfill, don't apologize, don't soften. Follow through, circle back, close the loop. If you said you'd check in on Friday morning, show up Friday morning. If you set a boundary around interruptions, hold it when the first person tests it. If you give direction and someone tries to negotiate the terms after the fact, bring it back to the original point. You're not being harsh. You're being stable. And stability feels safe. Safe leaders get respect. Unpredictable leaders, they get ignored. And here's another part nobody tells you. Your team actually wants you to be consistent. They want to know the rules. They want to know the rhythm. They want to know what you're about so that they can work with you, not around you. Let's go a level even deeper than this, because respect isn't built only by holding your boundaries. It's also built by how you communicate them. The managers who earn respect quickly have this calmness about them. Not passive, not detached, just calm, like someone who knows what they expect and trusts themselves enough not to over-explain it. When you communicate from that place, steady, present, clear, people lean in. They listen differently. They respond differently. They take you more seriously without you ever needing to act serious. You don't need a deeper voice. You don't need a tougher face. You don't need a new personality. You just need alignment. Your tone, your words, and your follow-through, all pointing in the same direction. That's the presence respected leaders carry. And the good news is, this is all learnable. The more you practice grounded clarity, the faster your team recalibrates. And yes, they will recalibrate, even those stubborn ones, even the ones who tested your limits for months, because people adjust to leadership that makes sense. Your job is not to please them. Your job is to lead them. If all of this is hitting just a touch too close to home, good. The real struggle in leadership isn't not knowing what to do. It's sitting alone with all the messy human stuff and pretending Google or an AI bot is going to just magically decode it for you. That's why so many managers feel stuck. We're trying to lead real people without having real people to talk to. And that's exactly why you should consider joining the Better Boss Club. It's open now. And you know, as a manager, you don't just need more information. You need connection, real conversations with real leaders and real support. So if you're done doing leadership in isolation, this is the call. Be a founding member. Doors are open. Link is in the description. I want to get my coffee, and I hope to see you in the club. Ciao.